Freaky Friday? Freaky Friday. You already know, decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals, see what's cracking. You know, what's the talk of the town is going down, the word on the curve, you heard me. Here in Southern California, it's a beautiful, warm day. You know, nice to be out and about. You already know it's Friday. I would say to be celebrating, but ¿para qué? Los Dodgers lost. They could have pulled it off, but instead, got to stretch this motherfucker out. So, you know, it could have been one of those nights, you know, of celebration and drinking, but unfortunately, the Dodgers couldn't come in the clutch. You had to blow it. And what's strange about this series is that either time any of the teams wins, it's always by a blowout, you know, number. It's never a close game. It's always like a fucking like 10-0, 8-0. It's just like there's no point, right? Because we got smacked. We got spanked, bro. No lie. I was like, I was like, man, for sure we got this shit in the bag. Ain't nothing to worry about. But it didn't quite happen that way. So the Mets are putting up a little bit more of a fight than I thought. Because I thought that for sure this shit was going to be a easy victory. Should have known better, huh? Can't count a team out, especially when they make it this far. You know, it's not by good looks. But what's good with everybody? What's cracking lacking? How's everybody enjoying their Friday? I hope everybody's having a, you know, nice day. Whoopsie. I'm trying to shut this shit off real quick. And for those who are not aware, I did drop another video on my other channel, right? I had 2 videos set to upload for that channel, but for some odd reason, YouTube is withholding one of them for review. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes they do that. I don't know the reason for it. It just happens at random, sometimes like that. Like you're uploading a video and then it's like, you know, it's uploading, you think it's going to go up, but then it says like being withheld for review. It's like, what the fuck? That shit is crazy. I wonder if other people go through as much, you know, bullshit. And then it's like, it always gets approved, so it's like, what the fuck was the purpose of all that? Like acting like if I'm gonna fucking upload content, like showing people how to make drugs or guns or some shit like that. Which I wouldn't doubt that individuals do or have tried to at least upload content like that. You know? Knowing how dumb some individuals are. Like, well, today we're gonna be learning how to make meth. We're learning how to make crack. I often do also see people tell people if they could make a video showing how to make pruno, like, why would you think that they would allow that? Like, to even ask that, bro. You know that it's not gonna happen. You know, YouTube is not gonna allow videos to be uploading telling people how to make a controlled substance. You know, putting all kinds of people in danger. You know, because anybody could view this, right? It could be children, all kinds of shit, right? Might get some ideas, teenagers out there, right? Last thing you want to be doing is feeding them that kind of stuff. Dewey burnout. A burnout, man, my boy. I don't got a sports whip. I got a Yonke. We ain't one of these baller YouTubers, bro. We're one of the broke ones. Maybe in my other whip, I might be able to do a burnout. I'm not much of a, a speed demon. A racing type people, or whatever. I'm more the riding low and slow type. What's cracking like it, Mr. Pasta? What you getting yourself into, Ishi? The homie Derek definitely up in the building. Woo woo. Bro, do you know any Turkish word? If you know, can you say it? Nah, I don't, bro. Turkish? No. Turkey? Does that count now? Any vehicle is good for one tire. Is it? Well, shit. I wouldn't know, my boy. We just might come across looking like Vin Diesel, but we ain't Vin Diesel. When we say family, it's not what we're talking about. Just getting ready for work. Payday. That's right, homie. Getting ready to get the Skrilla Illa. I figured that Turkish would be like kind of like difficult to learn, no? Isn't it like Turkish? I believe it would be as difficult to learn as like German or Russian, maybe. I don't know. They just sound difficult to me to learn. Like hearing them talk, I'm just like, oh. Or Chinese. No, which one's the fast one? Is it Japanese or Chinese? I know one is faster than the other. Like Filipino's a little more easier because they use similar words like to Spanish. Um, Korean's a little bit slower than like Chinese or Japanese. They're just like fast. I wanted to watch a video on cartels torture methods. They are so brutal. Cartel torture methods? It's rare that they do like torture methods, right? It's mostly just, shoot and kill or chop the heads off. It doesn't get any more like these individuals don't sit around and like plot and think of like different ways on how to torture people, right? That's not really their thing. They're just trying to get it done and that's it, right? And send a message. The ones for like torture methods would probably be like if you have one that's like a serial killer or someone that just gets their kicks off of torturing people. They're the ones that give that shit thought and shit like that, right? Because they get pleasure of doing or finding different ways on torturing people, right? But it would just be catered to that one specific individual, right? Who's like that, right? It wouldn't be something that they just sit around and think of ways to do, right? Because that's the action that an individual takes, not something that you would see being taken by a group, right? Because when you're with a group, it's just like like let's just get the shit over with and move on, right? So that's why you'll see like brutal shit, but it will never be like as brutal as like one individual who has committed like some true horrendous shit. Like there's been serial killers out there that have tortured people like in crazy ways, bro. There was this lady. Where the fuck was this shit at? I forgot which state it was in. Was it Arkansas? Nah, I don't know where it was at, but the whole point is that she skinned her husband, right? But she was a butcher, so she knew how to cut meat, right? So she was able to completely cut his whole entire skin, like from head to toe, intact, keep it all intact though. And she hanged it on some meat cleavers on her kitchen. Like when you're walking from the kitchen to the living room, she had it hanging right there. So when the cops went in there, they just seen the whole entire like skin individual, like just his skin though hanging perfectly intact, like it looked like a human. Yep. And then the rest of the body parts, she chopped it up, she cooked it and made it with smashed potatoes and vegetables and all that shit. And yeah, and she had plates set already for her kids because her kids were gonna eat she was gonna feed them the dad to the kids. Luckily, they didn't get to the cops got there before that shit happened, but that was her plan though. She ate some of him. Yeah. But that's pretty crazy. And he was alive most of the time this was happening too. She had like special like knives that were, you know, specially designed for that kind of shit. And that's just one out of many sick, twisted people that have walked this planet. So when we talk about true brutal shit, we mean brutal shit. I don't get why Bisons look up to cartels because they give back to the communities when they kill people. But see, that's the thing. A lot of people see stuff like that, right? Like just because an individual does a good deed, they're able to, how could I say, dismiss their bad behaviors, right? Like, oh, like with the Mr. Beast thing, right? But look at all the charity work he has done, and look at this and that, and it's like, so that excuse all this other behavior just because he's done this, like, just because somebody donates to charity and builds hospitals and and these places that don't have the resource for, doesn't excuse the individual now to go and commit fucking murder. Yeah. Like, well, he killed 13 people, yeah, but he also donated to charity and built hospitals. So I mean, doesn't that balance out? Like, no, that's not how the world works. A true good deed from a good individual means that the individual does not commit bad deeds, right? Because then it's all facade. They're only doing the good things, the good deeds, because they know that they're bad people. It's as simple as that. Can you puff? What up, Shadow? What's cracking like it, my boy? What up, Shadow? What's good? What's good? Shadow Cubole. What's cracking like it, my boy? You sound like Be Real from Cypress. Serio? Insane in the membrane. Why don't none of these SNY like tubers not representing SNY? It's not like they aren't banging. I don't know, bro. I wonder the same thing too. Like, individuals always say that they got no shame in their career and they're no longer gangsters and they don't care about none of that no more. But yeah, when they speak about stuff like that, it's almost like they isolate themselves or remove themselves from the situation. Like, well, I don't know, he was SNY, or oh, the guy was a snitch, or it's strange, bro. Because, like, well, you told, bro. So, like, someone that told, calling another person a snitch, I don't know. It's weird, because when you do that, you're giving now the people that are watching kind of like the implication that you're not a snitch, that you are against that, right? So I don't understand the purpose, if not to deceive the people. The only reason why I could see why it would be done, right? The fact that they say they don't no longer want to be considered gangsters, or they no longer are gangsters, yet they still go by their nicknames. Someone that has left that life behind and is no longer considered a gangster doesn't go by their nickname no more. For example, look at that guy, Sir Dino, Pastor David Rocha. He no longer goes by his nickname. He actually doesn't like to be referred as Sir Dino. That's not who he is, because that's how it goes. Those who leave the life behind no longer want to be associated, nothing to do with the street life, meaning they are no longer whatever their nickname used to be. It's quite offensive, actually, if you try to refer to them as that. So why these individuals still refer to be used as their street name, right, but say that they're turned over a new leaf, is beyond me. But then if we point it out, we're haters. Facts are facts, bro. That's how human behavior works, bro. Be mad at the research. To me, it's like you don't like how your career ended, so you're on YouTube to rewrite your story. That's the only explanation for it. You feel like this is an act of cowardness and you want to be seen as tough and respected. So therefore, you're coming on here to rewrite your tales. Like, people say they don't care about none of that stuff, but it's like they sure make a whole lot of comments saying like, oh, well, if they want to get it cracking, I'm down to get it cracking, or I like to see them pull up. We always, we never lacking. Like, clearly you changed over. You turned over a new leaf. Because that's someone that turned over a new leaf. That's exactly what they would say. Instead of being like, I could care less, and well, they could think I'm soft. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But no, they still gotta, hold up this image. Like, man, we don't get it twisted. We can still get it gangster. Like, no, you didn't. It's the reason why you went to the other side, bro. What was that energy then? It's as simple as that. Hi, how are you? Where are you from? For your area, I have Islamic. I am in California, Los Angeles. Why do you have a 9 to 5 as a so most gangbangers sell weed, scam around, make money most? No, actually, no. Most gang members have jobs. I get it. The movies paint it that way, like that they're supposed to be, As a matter of fact, if you have 30 gang members out there posted, out of the 30 gang members, maybe one, the most two of them sells drugs. But that's the most, though. You know? You know what I'm saying? Most homies don't buy luxury cars and stuff like that. That's more like you're talking about more like drug dealers. Like drug dealers are different from gang members. It's two different things. You know what I mean? Some prioritize in hustling, right? Selling drugs, making money. Some prioritize in just going and looking for enemies and fully gangbanging, like looking for their rivals and just doing their thing. Then you have others that prioritize in just stealing. Like all they want to do is just be out there stealing cars and stealing so they could go buy drugs and fix their habits. You have other individuals that just want to be partying all the time or clubbing. But you have sets of groups of individuals who like to do different things. You know what I mean? See, because you have to keep this in mind. The gangbanging thing is a young person's game, right? Like, if you see any activity out there, the activity is most likely being caused by 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. That's who's out there creating all the havoc, right? Those are the ones that you see out there running amok. So they'll go to school or they dropped out of school and they're just, running loose. But that's pretty much how it works. I get it when movies try to paint this because movies grab like some mobster and like a drug dealer and they try to mix and match it with gangsters and just throw it out there. They're just guessing pretty much, right? So anytime you do see that on the big screen, it was them just assuming and guessing of what they thought these individuals or how they thought they rolled. There are some people who pick and choose who gets called out for being a snitch. That's why others. No, a snitch is gonna get called out. Period. In general, if they're snitches, they're gonna get called out. Like you're not gonna be defending some snitches over some other snitches. Any three advice you want to give. But turning over a new leaf doesn't mean people won't target for your choice of the past. That's why you should defend yourself as a man. No, I know, but meaning if you're throwing yourself out there and still within, like, let's say, for someone who chooses to turn over a new leaf, right, and they're still going to be targeted, it's people that, because this information, that individuals are going to target you, they tend to ride off into the sunset, right? They no longer associate or attach themselves to anything that's gang related because you're putting your life at risk by doing that. So they tend to avoid anything that's gang related or anything that's associated with gangster talk, right? Because if you're still now choosing to involve yourself or speak on shit or throw yourself out there where you're still in the mix of the gangster fold, then these individuals now have a better chance of getting at you, right? And, now you're putting yourself in danger. Now you can defend yourself as a man and say that, well, you're going to not let yourself. Then the question is asked, then why did you turn over a new leaf? Then clearly you still want to be in the mix. Clearly you still want to be involved. So exactly why did you fall off to begin with then? Where was that energy then? Like, that's dumb that somebody would leave that and then all of a sudden want to come with that energy. Then what was the whole point of leaving the life to begin with then? That doesn't make any sense unless they're putting up a facade because they still want to be seen as tough and respected, but without having to actually do any other things that gets you that type of reputation. You get what I'm saying? Because then if not, it doesn't make any sense. I was broke. Kid gangbanger. Just sold enough to maintain a living. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Enough to get some 40s and, some fucking P-Dogs or some shit like that, right? I don't know him personally, but I know who he is, though. But see, those guys are mobsters. That's different from gangsters. You know, mobsters carry themselves completely different than what a gangster is, right? A mobster is secrecy. You know, no tattoos, no posting up in corners, no letting people know who you guys are. Their whole entire thing is, you know, secrecy. While gangbangers is the complete opposite. You see them standing on the corners of the streets as they claim. They tag up the whole entire area. Everybody that passes by, they're letting them know, hey, this is so and so's neighborhood. They call me so and so and so. You know, they have it on their hats, their belts, their shirts. They tattooed as much as possible, as big as possible. You know, anybody that passes by, they're letting them know who they are and what they represent. You know what I'm saying? It's the complete opposite of how these individuals move. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same thing. Because over here, if you're choosing to keep it on the low or scared to represent, you're gonna be seen and targeted for that. Like, what's up with you, my boy? You're scared to let them fools know where you're from or what? Like, this was being a bitch over here. You know, you're gonna get targeted for that. Like, you're scared to represent. You're scared to let them know. You're supposed to let them know at all times, and whoever, even if it's law enforcement. You hold pride in your neighborhood, and you don't rank it, and you represent at all, always at all costs. Because anything other than that is seen as ranking it. You know, you're scared to represent. See, they move different. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why is used as gangsters on both is because a gang member is an individual that belongs to a gang. A gang is, you know, three or more individuals that commit illegal activity. So they belong to a group. Labeling the group as a gang, the members of the gang are gang members. You know what I'm saying? Now people may think like, oh, bikers are not gang members. Law enforcement, society labels them that because their group is a gang and they're members of that gang. Therefore, they're gang members. You may not think so, but that is how they're labeled for that reason. Because by definition of the very word, like, how are you going to be a gang member without being from a gang? You know, because when you say you're a gang member, what's the follow-up question? Well, where you from? What gang you from? Oh, I belong to no gang. Then how the fuck are you a gang member, bro? What's the beginning word? Gang, right? Makes no sense. Then you're a thug or a criminal or a drug dealer. There's a reason why there's all these different words. But people just, you know, because of movies and mainstream medium, how it's painted, everybody just throws it all in one basket and gets people all confused. Like, that's not true. Like, how are you gonna say it's not true, bro? By the very definition of the fucking word, my guy. It's crazy. I think it depends what area you are in. I need to see, and demands illegal drugs like meth are very high out here. So dealer there, maybe. Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to speak on that area because I've never been out there. So yeah, probably out there. That's probably how it works. Yeah, serious question. But what happens when someone dies in prison? Like, very the same thing as what happens to people out here when they die. You know. My little bug is definitely up in the building. Love you, baby. Department of Defense, according to which gives the United States use lethal force. Ha! That is facts. Should have. She was working with. So those to all the truth-telling trolls. Is that what we're referred to as now? Trolls? It's crazy how, you know, that people, you know, now that speak truth are known as trolls, right? Like that is crazy. Like, speaking the truth now makes you a troll. That's crazy. Definitely some strange times we're living in. Like, bro, why are you talking shit? Like, You know what talking shit is, my guy? Like, when did honesty become shit talking? That's new. Hitler, past director, gave the soldiers, civilians area, United States government just. Well, yeah, it's even like, look at when we were in World War II, you had you know, law enforcement going into homes and taking all these Japanese Americans and Italian Americans and German Americans and putting them in camps when they didn't even do nothing wrong. But the United States was doing that. You know, they had camps where they were putting all these Japanese, Italian, and German Americans there when they have absolutely nothing to do with these individuals, but because of their family roots, that was enough to say, nah, we're gonna put you guys in camps. Why they choose to leave that out of the history books when they're educating you is beyond me. But that's real shit that really did happen, you know, during those times. Something that, yes, America did do, and these law enforcement officers did do. You had no rights then. They were coming and they're like, nah, fuck you, you're coming with us. I'm gonna put you in these camps. Fuck your rights and whatever you gotta say. And I'm not even making that shit up. I'm being dead serious. Good point. Undercover street gang. Yeah, bro. Like, you gotta represent always, bro. Imagine being like, hey, dog, I can't say where I'm from. You'd be like, what? What you mean you can't say where you're from, my boy? The neighborhood will be looking at you like, damn, what the fuck? Nah, you know, motherfuckers are asking you, you let them know what it is. Anything other than that, bro, is seen as, nah, you ain't cutting it, my boy. Do biker gangs beef it with street gangs? Some, depending, you know, if there's some beef for whatever reason, you know, maybe woman related, maybe drug territory related, maybe, you know, an argument or some shit like that, right? It could spark off, retaliation and, back and forth, right? I mean, it's rare, right? But not to say that it doesn't happen or it hasn't happened. Oh, it has happened, right? But it's kind of rare that it does, though. Trolls life matter. Yes, they do. Well, pussy lips. Ha! Your father is back there. Jesus Christ is my ninja? Is he? It's war, bro, but I hear what you're saying. War is evil. It will happen again. Yeah, well, the greed of man, though. The greed of man is the reason why, these things, keep occurring. Individuals are never satisfied with the piece of their pie that they have. Right? Why is everybody set tripping? But it'd be crazy, the kind of shit that happens out there. Like I said, what street individuals do is no different than what these countries, be doing, out there. It's just, for some strange reason, just seem different by society. Like, it's two different things. Like, is it? No. Do you have an EBT card? Actually, no, I don't. I actually have a job, so no. Me and my wife both work, so no EBT for us. I'm not hating on those who do get EBT and stuff like that, right? I understand, some people are put in some, tough situations and struggles out there, right? But my hands and feet work, so. Have you ever used food stamps? Yeah, when we were smaller. You know what I mean? I grew up on food stamps, bro. But like I said, like we were able to work, so And plus, I'm not someone who likes actually asking, people for anything. Like, it's like if I'm able to like work and get it myself, I'd rather do it like that instead of depending on people or depending on the system. It's so easy to be accustomed to that kind of stuff, right? And that's what happens to a lot of people. Like, yes, you have that option. Doesn't mean that you should, take that option or make it your number one option. Like, there's work out there. People could work and get it. It's just that people's pride gets in the way, right? Like, they feel like certain jobs are beneath them, or that they deserve to have better jobs, or you know what I'm saying? But everybody has to start from somewhere. And, a job's a job, bro. I don't give a fuck if a guy tells me that he's working at McDonald's. I'm not gonna make fun of him for what. A job's a job, bro. He's doing his part to put food on the table. You know what I mean? So I could care less where the fuck he works at, as long as he's working. Like I said, you gotta start from somewhere. And no one says that you gotta die at that job. You get that job, and while a better job comes along the way, you're at least getting paid. Instead of being like, nah, I don't want to work there. Nah, I'm higher than that. And just be sitting around not getting paid and still looking like, nah, just get this job and keep looking until something better comes along the way. At least like that, you're still getting paid, bro. Like what are you ashamed of that people might make fun of you? Why does that matter, bro? So what if you work at this, and that? Who gives a fuck what they say? Like, why do you care about these strangers' opinions so much for? Are they paying your bills? Because the bills are still coming, my boy. They're stacking up. The last thing you should be worried about is the comments that they're going to make towards you. You get what I mean? Like, that is, I don't know. People are a trip. Like, what? You rather worry about that, bro, than actually worrying about actually paying your fucking bills. That shit is a trip. Goes to show how much people care about the opinions of others, bro, or how they might be viewed. And it's like, who are these people to you that you care for their opinions so much? That shit is crazy. Like, how old are you, my guy? That you're afraid to being called something, bro. We're not 9 years old no more, bro. Like, nah, man, they're gonna say that I work there and they're gonna make fun of me and call me lame and like, wow, my guy, you sound like a fucking third grader. Like, how old are you, my guy? Gives a fuck what they say, goofball. Like, huh, bro, he called me. Like, are you gay? No. All right, then. What the fuck is the problem here? Like, bro, how old are you, my guy? Like, grow the fuck up already. Comments like that shouldn't even bother you. Like, not 9 years old no more. I don't know. People are strange. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.